There's a tension where I was trying to capture some of the experiences within our identities that can feel jarring as we transition from one identity to the next by leveraging the layering of materials, whether it's paint or wax pastel or pencil. And the subject matter, while at once it might appear whimsical and colorful, the more you look at it, there'll be moments of calm along with more jarring imagery. And I like the juxtaposition of those two things. I do want the viewers, when they look at the work, to feel that tension, and I think that tension draws the viewer in and allows them to linger there and explore the different layers, and I do want them to feel a sensation as they're looking at the work, between the calm and the whimsical, and then the imagery that's a little harsher. Scale is important to the work. Some of the pieces are small and intimate, and I think they invite the viewer to get closer to take a look at some of the small details. While other works have a much larger scale, but then I try to add in all of these pieces in this series moments of tiny detail to get the viewer to look close and engage with the work. In the large oil painting with what looks like a female figure jumping rope, there's such a contrast between kind of a joyful or playful experience of jumping rope, something very childlike, with then a face on the character that doesn't quite match the experience. So you're kind of getting a reaction in a character that doesn't fit the activity that they're doing, and I wanted to really play with that a bit more. So even though you're not getting the tiny details in that piece, you're getting that contrast just within the subject matter itself. A lot of the characters or flowers will even have spikes and things coming off of them, and I think of those as being self-protection, but also a signal to the viewer, or what else might exist in that space of the character in the painting, to keep things away and to keep distance. I love using lots of yellows and reds. I want the colors to pop, and for the work to look attractive, for there to be beauty in the work, for the viewer to get closer. And as they get closer, they'll see that there's chaos within the subject matter, but as they're looking at it, those things can still exist together, the beauty of the work and the chaos as well. With these works, I started incorporating buttons and fabric and thread, and that's new for my practice as an artist. Usually I've stuck with oil painting or acrylic painting and drawing, and as I've gotten more into explored mixed media with wax pastels and adding pencil, I wanted to now incorporate all of those materials together to see what I could create and how I could start to push some of the ideas that I had further on the canvas. I think with paint sometimes I felt limited in how I could express myself, and by adding the different materials I felt like I could really explore these ideas in a different way and get my point across more clearly. Usually I have an idea, either a phrase that I've written that's just been stuck on my mind that I want to incorporate into art, or I have just a single image in my mind, and then from there I build. I had a menu from a restaurant from like a significant moment that I wanted to be able to pull things off of that menu into the art. So sometimes it'll be as simple as starting with some words from that menu that I want to incorporate, and then going from there. And overall the process is very cathartic. I think I just work through it as I go and make decisions as I'm creating the piece. I think in the past I used to have concepts that were personal to me, maybe a bit of a darker concept, but I wouldn't really push it very far. So really I think I left a little more up to the viewer. For whatever you see in the work is great. If you're getting a really whimsical circus image from the work, that's great. I think now I want, and with this body of work, I've tried to push that tension further and be a little more explicit and less timid in my work, so that comes across more, where it's hard to walk away from the pieces without seeing some of the things that are jarring in the work itself. And I think that's one thing I'm excited about this show, because I feel like the work all pushes things further than I've pushed them in the past.